Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Iraqi Dinar Hub. It's Armagan here, and today we're diving into an important and often misunderstood topic, the removal of zeros from the Iraqi dinar and its potential effect on Iraq's economy. There's a lot of discussion surrounding this subject, but what does it truly mean? Will it actually impact the value of the currency, or is it simply a change in numerical representation? Stay with me as we break it all down. First, let's start with some significant news from Washington, where the United States has urged Iraq to reduce its dependence on Iranian energy. The objective is to eliminate reliance on Iranian gas and cut down on energy imports, with Iraq planning major projects to increase its own energy production. These initiatives include establishing fixed or floating platforms for natural gas extraction, which will serve as an alternative to the Iranian gas that has long been essential to Iraq's energy sector. With a goal of achieving energy independence in just 4 months, Iraq is pushing for a shift away from flaring excess gas, which is often burned off to save costs. This transition is not only aimed at reducing expenses, but also at promoting environmental sustainability. The broader implication of this move suggests a clear effort to distance Iraq from Iranian influence, signaling a strategic shift in regional energy dynamics. Now, turning our focus to currency matters, the removal of zeros from the Iraqi dinar has been a widely debated topic. Some claim that this will lead to an immediate increase in value, with exaggerated assertions that 0.076 dinar could suddenly be worth 76 cents. But what's the reality behind these claims? To fully understand this, we must first examine the concept of exchange rates. An exchange rate is essentially a ratio between two different currencies, indicating how much one currency is worth in comparison to another. When discussions arise about eliminating zeros from the dinar, they are not necessarily referring to an actual increase in the currency's value, but rather to a change in how the currency is represented numerically. This is where much of the confusion lies. What's being adjusted is the nominal value, not the purchasing power of the currency. The reason these zeros were added in the first place was to manage inflation, a situation where the prices of goods and services rise, causing the currency to lose purchasing power. In Iraq's case, the addition of zeros was a response to severe inflationary pressures. Dr. Shabibi, the architect of Iraq's Delete the Zeros initiative, clarified that the zeros were introduced as a measure to combat inflation. However, simply removing them does not inherently increase the currency's worth. It only changes how it appears on paper. So, what does this mean for ordinary Iraqi citizens? If someone holds a 10,000 dinar note and the zeros are removed, it would then be redenominated as a 10 dinar note. This might give the impression of increased value, but in reality, the purchasing power remains unchanged. The true determinant of a currency's worth is the overall economic environment, not the number of zeros printed on a banknote. This is where misconceptions arise. Changing the appearance of the currency without addressing economic fundamentals will not lead to a tangible improvement in the quality of life for citizens. For example, if you go to the market to buy groceries, the cost of goods would likely remain the same, despite the currency redenomination. This means that if Iraq does not implement economic reforms that address inflation and economic stability, removing zeros will not bring about any meaningful change in the real value of the dinar. Furthermore, it is important to recognize that Dr. Shabibi never explicitly advocated for removing zeros from the exchange rate itself. His focus was primarily on stabilizing Iraq's economy and mitigating inflationary pressures. Many discussions surrounding this topic fail to acknowledge this critical point. The key to strengthening the dinar is not merely modifying its numerical representation, but ensuring that government policies foster genuine economic growth and stability. The Iraqi government and the Central Bank of Iraq have made various statements regarding currency reforms, yet there is no clear indication of imminent major shifts that would directly benefit the population in a substantial way. While some argue that eliminating zeros is a step towards broader financial reform, true economic progress requires a multifaceted approach, addressing job creation, fiscal policies, and overall economic resilience. Another crucial development in Iraq's financial landscape is the transition away from currency auctions. You may have heard discussions regarding the end of these auctions and the potential implications for the Iraqi dinar. The government is shifting to a new system that will allow local banks to manage foreign currency transfers, which could streamline processes and enhance efficiency. Many view this as a positive step toward modernizing Iraq's financial infrastructure. However, it is worth noting that the auctions have not yet been fully discontinued. In fact, from November to January, there was a noticeable increase in the amount of currency being auctioned, rising from around $280 million to over $300 million. This suggests that Iraq may be preparing for a significant economic transition. The conclusion of currency auctions could signal a major shift in financial policy, potentially influencing the dinar's value and the broader economic landscape. Despite these changes, there are inherent risks associated with this transition. If the government does not carefully manage the shift away from currency auctions, it could introduce economic instability. There is still uncertainty about when this transition will be fully implemented and how it will impact the economy. The availability of foreign currency, exchange rate fluctuations, and the operational structure of businesses may all be affected. For ordinary Iraqis, this means potential changes in how financial transactions are conducted, but the long-term impact remains uncertain. As these developments unfold, staying informed and engaged in discussions about Iraq's financial future is essential. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the key points. The removal of zeros from the Iraqi dinar is largely a cosmetic adjustment rather than a fundamental change in value. The real issue lies in the broader economic conditions, and without addressing inflation, monetary policies, and structural reforms, the purchasing power of the currency will remain the same. Additionally, while the government is making moves to phase out currency auctions, the impact of this transition will depend on how effectively it is managed. So, what do you think? Will removing zeros from the dinar genuinely help Iraq's economy, or is it merely a superficial adjustment? What are your thoughts on the end of currency auctions and the shift toward a new financial system? Let's discuss in the comments. Below, I'd love to hear your perspectives. And as always, if you found this information valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more updates, and I'll see you in the next video.